Alan Cesar, 42, Belamine user for 5 years. He slept-walked to his car, drove 15 miles across town to his son Steven's house, grabbed a tire iron out of the shed, went into Steven's bedroom and beat his unconscious girlfriend to death. Steven fought back, but he was strangled until he passed out. Police report says they found Alan wandering around in the backyard with no memory of what happened. Steven said he heard Alan grunting like an animal right before he lost consciousness.
Prior history of sleepwalking?
Consistent as a child, sporadic as an adult.
Then what does that prove about the medicine? There's no correlation between it and sleepwalking. It just makes you wake up a lot. I slept-walked before I took Belamine, and so did this guy, apparently.
Belamine's a neuroleptic. Neuroleptics make you sleepwalk.
I know what a neuroleptic is, and it's not the same thing. It's a cholinesterase inhibitor.
It was a street drug to begin with, right? A painkiller in its earliest form?
You're not wrong. It still doesn't prove anything.
Francis Olson, age 19, Belamine user for a year. Killed his parents while he was home from college. Took a butter knife, of all things, and stabbed his mother straight through the heart. His father in the stomach and through both eyes. Police report says then he made a peanut butter sandwich and put the knife back in his father's eye. They found him sitting Indian style in front of his parents' bodies with no memory of the incident. They only get younger and closer to home. 8-year-old Mason Griggs, Belamine user for over half his life. He went to a sleepover at a friend's lake house. His best friend James was trapped in his sleeping bag. Thrown in the lake, he couldn't swim. The report said Mason wrapped the sleeping bag with rope tied in bowline knots. Mason's parents said that he was learning that knot in Boy Scouts.
Where'd you get all this? You're not a cop anymore.
I'm a private detective.
Of course you are.
Well, here's the thing. I got all this from a friend of mine, Detective Alice Gimlin, 28. That was all her research right before she died. Guess what? Killed by a Belamine user. Miles Berryman, 27. Her fiance. He was a retail manager, women's apparel. Alice and I talked pretty regularly. She told me how Miles was changing, becoming jealous and critical. How he saw her as more successful than him, and he saw that as a bad thing. Grabbed a pair of scissors, probably the same scissors he used to mend clothes. He cut her mouth and face ear to ear. Glasgow smiled. Then he loaded her in the truck, drove out Highway 74 to their favorite vacation spot.
Please just turn around. Please do not have to do this.
Ran out of gas halfway. Alice exited the vehicle and bled out on the side of the road. He came to, found her body, and called the highway patrol.
Sounds like she was close to you, which also makes you biased. Why blame the medicine when you can blame the man? Pretending to sleepwalk isn't that hard.
You've pretended?
Okay, I did once. It's one night when you and Mom were in the kitchen arguing. I walked in and you threw something, porcelain duck that she always liked. It hit my feet. And you looked up at me, and I was a deer in headlights. I feigned sleep, turned around and shuffled off to bed. I heard you tell Mom that I wasn't awake and that it didn't matter. But it did. I saw your anger, and it was real. You were always gaslighting her. And now you're scapegoating, obsessing over this medicine out of desperation.
Why did you pretend?
I was scared. And now you're scared too.